Maybe I'll try this one.
What's up, y'all? Our second guest, we titled this particular show 70 Kilos to Christ. A young man who has street credibility. He's an OG in the streets, OG in this area, well known, really, in this area, but from here to California. And now he has the kingdom of God credibility. He went from the streets to salvation. Mr. Tim Street came on this show and shared his journey of carrying the weight of his past while finding redemption in his faith. We was able to reflect on his transformation, and debate the realities of addiction, the judicial system, and whether faith alone is enough to change lives. I personally really love that episode. I love those type of stories, man. Anybody that finds Christ, and however your journey is, like, that's the beauty, man. Like your road ain't my road. So you can't judge nobody's road. And I felt the brother's how sincere he was, how appreciative he was for God's grace to have kept him long enough for him to see the light. And I'm proud of where he is, and I just appreciated his journey. I did not know him, but I feel like I was probably the only one that did not know anything about him. But I think you guys knew him, and Gab, I think you knew him very well. What was your relationship? How did you come to know Tim?
Being out too much, and then hard to believe. I was always around the young me. I was always back in the day. I think everybody, and Shaw can probably say the same thing. Being in Greens, the Triad area, whether you was hustling, whether you was stick up or doing music or promoting, everybody knew who was and they all knew each other. So you had drug dealers that hung with promoters, or the stick up, or the music. You know what I mean? So we all knew each other, and he was one of the ones that it's crazy to see him now, because I remember the 5% of God Supreme. So to see him now being the way he is now is crazy. I've been around, some crazy stuff we ain't gotta speak about, and to see him being who he is now is amazing. It really is a testament to God. It also says, because I think it was it Saul that was blinded and then changed the Paul. It reminds you, I hope, you don't want to have to go through that much.
Yes.
To transform.
Yeah.
So to see his story and to know how long he was in jail, and then to finally get out and stick to his transformation and say, no, this is who I want. This is the mature me. This is the me that decided that it's either God or nothing. Man, it's a beautiful thing to see.
When that was the episode you came in like in the middle of it
and was shocked.
Yeah, like I never forget you was just frozen.
Yeah.
Like why was that so surreal for you?
Yeah. Because it was a lot that went on. A lot of those times was things that changed my life. It's hard to believe, but I used to hustle. It wasn't with them. I used to mess with a lot of people in Charlotte. You just recognize sometimes, you recognize God's grace, God's mercy, and you just watch people who are around you on your come up from being, I was Gab G's to Gab Beats to Gavin Maestro, and just remembering who I was, and then watching a lot of people go to jail, and then they come home, and I was able to achieve stuff that some of these people was giving me money because I ain't had nothing. I was still trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like it's no cap when I say Tim Street, like, man, it'd be days, you know, I was dating somebody at the time. If it was a problem, man, yeah, come on with me, man. Stop tripping. We go to one of his cribs, little apartment. Then we go to eat at a restaurant, then chill. Then we may go out somewhere. Like, it was a lot of them that really looked out. Him, Bandana, a couple of other people like that really, they ain't take me under their wing, but they was, a lot of people knew who I was gonna be when I ain't even know.
Yeah. And that's real.
So to see them now and to watch even my transformation becoming who I was. I had saw him one time before he came out. I saw him working at the jewelry store, and I froze because I ain't know he was out. And he looked at me and said, "Yeah, Gab, it's me, man." Like, man, holler at me. I'm like, I just stood there.
Yeah.
Because it was like somebody that I watched how they move. I seen them get money.
Yeah.
I know they was getting money. Yeah. When he say champagne popping, that was a real thing.
Yeah.
So I think when you and hopefully as I get older, certain people do the same thing with me. But it's beautiful to watch the people that knew you when you want nothing.
Yeah.
And they don't put it in your face.
Yeah.
Right.
They just glad to watch you win. So I'm looking at a man that watched me be from this to here. Mm-hmm. And that's a beautiful thing to experience, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know, like Gav said, being in the music industry, we all kind of intertwine with one another. And for me, being a aspiring record exec, I knew about Gav. You know about all the cream because it rises to the top. You know, and Gav was one of those people that we watched and we sought after. But also Tim was like on another level. And when I say he was on another level, meant that you could tell he put a lot of money behind himself. You know, from the rap vehicles to his flyers to his marketing campaigns. You know, we just wanted to see him win. So for me, I would jump in and help people where I saw they had potential. I find out what they're missing and try to be that. You know, I was like that for Gav, you know what I'm saying? Meaning like I was just a fan, you know, of Gav, you know, as a producer myself, but still like, yo, he's better than me. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to do this. He got it. Let me do what I can do to support him.
What I can do to help him.
Right, you know, and so, and he may not know that and may not, you know, you understand?
No,
you know?
Yeah.
Right. So it was a lot of us that supported one another, you know, in that aspect, you know, because we wanted to see North Carolina, you know, get on, right? And then you had some that was pulling down and pulling against each other, of course. But like I said, so I started doing whatever I could to help him. You know, I would go out in the vans and we would pass out water. He had his own water. He had his own hot sauce. You understand what I'm saying? And we used to pass it out. You used to go to Burlington. Burlington used to have this car wash where everybody would just come on Sundays. Yeah, you see? And we would just hop out and give out, you know, waters to everybody and stuff like that, and give out flyers because we used to throw parties in Burlington.
Church Street.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was our thing. And then we had a graphic company. One of my brothers, who's one of the greatest graphics men, you know, Malik. I don't know if you know Malik.
Sure.
Right? So shout out to Malik. Malik was doing graphics for everybody. I was the account exec. So what I would do was go out and find the people who needed graphics, you know, find out what colors you needed, what wording you needed. Then I would go sit with him and, you know, turn the information to him. That's how I learned how to do graphics, through this guy. So out of that, you know, this is where the Champagne Kings was born. Wow. You know, started the whole branding process behind it, because everywhere he went, you know, he would have Moet shot. You know, he was buying up the bars, he was buying it, and that was like the whole thing. So we were all walking there together, you know, or him and his crew or whatever. I mean, and it would be wild because you know how he used to be. Sometimes, you know, he would be spaced out, you know, and you'll see him, Preem, what up? He'll walk right by you. You get what I'm saying? Come back and talk to you like he addressed you in the beginning. You didn't, bro.
Yeah.
You know. But he was, now when he told his story, I was able to understand. You know, sometimes he was gone.
Yeah.
You understand? And he did lose his fire for the music, but we still was looking at him like he had everything that it took.
Absolutely.
And it was crazy you said that too, because like I think I said on the interview, literally he came for a session with me one time, dropped money and left. He never got and realistically, I owe him a beat.
Yeah.
to this day. He came in the studio for 15 minutes, looked at his phone, said, all right, Gary, I got to get out of here. Never seen him again for another session. And that to me, I mean, and it was a couple of them like that. But people don't believe this. Whether you got paper or not, back in the day, there was a agenda for us to win. Like we knew who had it.
Who had it, yeah.
And we was like, oh, nah. Yeah. Man, you good wherever you go because we need you to win.
Yeah.
So, like, watching him, and shout out, rest in peace, Big Sean. Sean passed away a couple weeks ago. Well, he was killed. And, he was shot. And I saw one of the videos, and just to watch Tim Street pray at that memorial, it was like, man, this ain't the same guy.
Yeah.
It's a true transformation.
It like that to me, and y'all, God is real. Like, I mean, listen, these past couple of weeks have been some real trying weeks, and it's tested my hearing with God, not my faith, my hearing, because it's making me recognize whether it's me talking to me or him talking to me, and then at the same time saying, all right, man, look, I'm at this point, so you got to prove something.
Yeah.
Would give if I had a lost faith, Tim Street is an example that God is for real.
And bro, I take that wholeheartedly because I always knew of him. I'm in High Point or whatever, right? And I'm dealing, I was one of those young and upcoming people, but I was working at Eastgate Electronics. And shouts out to my Uncle Fred Wright and Fred Jr. or whatever, right? And so we were doing the booming system era or whatever. So I'm putting all the booming systems in all of the Stunners cars like crazy, right? And so people from Greensboro started migrating to High Point. And then he mentioned a guy named Chicago, right?
Shots.
Yeah, and when he mentioned Chicago, I knew Chicago, and that whole Green Street, era was the thing, and that's when I was popular. I could go to any club, anywhere and get in because I kept you booming. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, Tilo, my amp ain't turned up good enough, bro. You fix me up tomorrow when I come through there. And so I could go anywhere, south side, north side, it didn't matter. I could go. And I remember when everybody, when Shy had the studio on Green Street, and all of those artists and the rap, the vehicles that used to be all outside and things of that nature, right? That was like a whole movement. And when he touched on that, I was like, oh man, because we had an Elizabeth Pizza on Green Street, and that was just a whole thing. But I remember that part, and then from me being a youngster coming up through that time, it inspired me because, I wanted not to do what they did, but to look how they looked. You know what I'm saying? They had the whips, everybody was about being fly, clean cut, cool. I mean, the whole 9 yards, everything was just, it was love, and they wanted to see you come up. Like Gal said, they wanted to see you come up. But when I met him or whatever, I was kind of like, wow, this is the guy that they call Supreme, right? Because I've always heard of him, but I have never seen him. And I've been to Alexander Devereaux or whatever, right? And I remember going when Alexander Devereaux was like the boiling pot of Greensboro, bro. Like that little building drew so much traffic, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. And you would see them 600 Benzes sitting out front or whatever, right? Oh, I remember those days, bro. I remember.
Hey, you was like, boy, I can't wait till my car get out here.
I can't wait. You know what I mean? Like, yo. And so when he came here and he talked about God, bro, it really, really, it did something to me because it takes a lot of heart, for a person pretty much that has been transformed to even come out knowing what your status was in your prior life. right? Because in your prior life, we saw you as a street king or whatever, right? But now in your godly life, he's already arising as a king or whatever, right? And so listen to him and him going back and playing the scenes that when he was locked up and how when God finally, got with him and he had that conversation to where it broke him down when he was trying to refuse God. Bro, it sent cold chills up my body, bro. When I heard that, man, literally I almost cried because it really made me think about George Foreman. If you ever watched that movie, George Foreman had that same situation happen to him because he kept turning away. You know what I mean? No matter how many fights he won, his mom kept trying to get him. He wouldn't even say his grace.
Yeah.
Like, God ain't got nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
And then finally, that meeting happened and he couldn't withstand it. And now he's carrying that torch for God. So, man, I tip my hat off to Supreme, bro.
I think also when someone can confidently share their journey, that's how you know that they have truly been redeemed.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's those who hide it.
Yeah.
That's kind of still dealing with it.
Yeah.
Like I remember I asked him, did he have a desire for that? He unequivocally, immediately said no.
Yeah.
That's how you know, like this nature. Bible says, we're born and we become a new creature.
Yeah.
If any man be in Christ, he is a new creature.
Yeah.
Old things have passed away. Behold, all things become new. That man is the epitome of that scripture.
Yeah, you're right.
He is a new creature. He don't have no desire to do drugs. Like, how people say, man, I used to be an alcoholic, so I got to stay away from alcohol. He like, bro, like you could bring it in my face.
I'm good.
It ain't affecting to me. Like the hardest thing to sell is to something somebody don't want.
Man. Bro.
So he's like, you can't sell me on that. I don't want it. I don't have a taste for it. I don't have a desire for it. That right there showed me he has truly been redeemed. Yeah. He has truly been converted. Like that is true conversion that we all was able to witness right in front of our eyes. And it has to kind of do something to you as far as your personal salvation.
Absolutely.
It kind of, all of us kind of had to leave here and really almost like, if we've ever questioned God, we got to come back and say, man, you real.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know somebody said that was their favorite episode.
Wow.
And I can see why.
I can see
why. Like, the story that he told was so it was so cinematic, so vivid.
Yeah.
The stories that he told, and for us being familiar with some of these places, it was like he was taking me there. Like, okay, I remember this space. I remember that.
Man.
Right? When I heard that he got out, people was calling me, Preem home. I'm like, okay. I was like, where he at? And they was like, he be online. So me, having a relationship I had with him in the past, I didn't want to just run up on him. I wanted to see him from afar. The internet allowed me to do this. So I watched him and I saw people from his past come to see him. He was recording everybody, and I was watching how he was talking to them. And then I listened to some of his online ministry. And I'm looking at him because, one thing for him, he is what you call a fixed character. So if he was fronting any kind of way, it would be easy to see. You'll see it so easy.
Right quick, yeah.
You understand? So when he was here, like I said, I had chills.
Yeah.
I felt emotional about it because I'm like, God really did it.
Yeah.
He really did it.
Bro,
You know what I'm saying?
I thought he was lying.
Right. That's how we thinking.
Listen, when a brother of mine, TC, he was like, yeah, man, he preaching in prison. I'm like, oh, really? Okay. He just trying to get out.
Like,
We talking about
Yes.
He was, when I say, I'm talking about, we talking about 5% of breaking down, every letter. You already know, what I mean? Like,
But
God supreme. We not talking about somebody that we talking about
ultimate confidence, knowing exactly what he doing today.
Man.
I'm the boss. I'm running this. But he was he was really slick with what he did. You know how he did things.
God is it. This is. I am not in a testing God phase. Let me say that.
Yeah.
But to a certain degree, I'm like, man, look. If you can do that,
Oh, yeah.
For real.
Right.
Yeah. And then
and but still, and in examining myself, and because there's always
Room,
way
yeah.
more work. But I don't want. He had to go through a Saul
yeah.
10 times worse experience.
Yes.
I don't want that to happen
No.
for me to gain an even closer relationship.
Yeah.
So my thing was because I think everybody's relationship can always be better with God. I don't care what nobody tell themselves. But that man, I don't have to see nobody die and then be rose. I saw a man, a man who there was no way.
Yeah. Like he shouldn't be doing what he doing right
No.
now, based off the lifestyle that he lived or whatever, right? Like the book should have been ending with he got killed. You know what I'm saying?
Rest in peace.
Oh, yeah, that's what.
Or
it
he
should-
went back to jail.
Yeah, he went back to jail.
Yeah.
But the redemption of his story is the fact that this man is godly and he's preaching
Grace and
You know
mercy.
what I mean?
Grace
and
and-
then like I said, even when he sat here, man, and he got emotional. He got emotional, bro. Like, and to deal with it, like, you know, I got a homeboy that was a kingpin. If you ever understood the mentality of a kingpin and how they mind work or whatever, right? To see him like that and me knowing what it was to be with some of the people that I ran with, I'm like, wow.
It ain't no halfway.
No,
It ain't none.
I
This
said
dude
God
is-
got one.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
God
And
got
he's
one.
real with it.
you was too far in on
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
So to like,
Man, I just hope people recognize, and it really does make me emotional because, again, what I'm looking forward to in the future before the end of this year is unprecedented. That's how my faith is very, for most people, it would be delusional.
Yeah.
Like, Gavin, you are delusional asking for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I literally saw what would look like a delusion that became one of God's soldiers.
Yeah.
It is, y'all, I wish y'all really understood. There's no way
Yeah.
Tim Street
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%.
is supposed to be, and forget just being in church,
Yeah.
preaching.
Yeah. Preaching, bro.
There's no,
Yeah.
we now, most people go from the street to just being a Muslim.
Yeah.
He was 5%. That's halfway a Muslim anyway.
Right.
Like he put down everything and said, God, I believe. And what's crazy, he still fly.
Yeah.
He's still getting
And gonna be, and God gonna give it to him.
Yeah.
Cause this is him.
This is him. This is who he is. This is
him. He gonna have it.
use him because now God is using him as a draw. You know what I mean? I'm gonna draw you in, and that's what's crazy because if you didn't look at that episode and gravitated from what he was saying, right, you would be crazy because if you look at your life, right, and we remember when before we chose to walk with God or whatever, right, your belief system was totally different.
Right.
And like even once, you know, I went to church and once I joined C3 and became a member at C3, you know, I felt different. You know what I mean? I felt different. And I wanted people to know where I was at that made me feel different. Right? I wanted people to know. So I'm on Facebook and I'm advocating for my church, you know, to follow me to C3 or whatever. So now I get feedback from all of the people that not only just follow me through me DJing, but the people that have worked for me. People see me at the local Walmart or CVS or Food Line and say, I love the fact that you always putting God first or whatever.
Amen.
And then just to hear him and he's saying that that's what I lead with now, I was like, yo, I'm
God
done.
fly, yo.
I'm good.
God fly.
Yeah. So that was that episode, man. Like, shout out to Tim.
Fact.
Yeah,
And
big
if
time.
y'all, if those who know him, those who don't, like, huge dude, follow him. We definitely gonna post his his you know his connect.
His book just dropped on Amazon last Sunday.
Yeah,
Church from the Feds. It's
Yeah.
selling like crazy right now all over the world.
Nice.
Wow, that's what's
So
up. Big
Tim,
shout out.
we salute you, bro.
Man.
Sure.